the reasons which the discos have given as a weakness in the system has been pricing of electricity. They say that issues of electricity thefts, non-payment of tariff by consumers have led to insufficient funds available for infrastructural development. However, the people complain about estimated billing, which have sometimes been described as unreasonable, a problem which spreads from the Federal Capital Territory Abuja to other states of the Federation.
We have made various concerted efforts via letters, correspondences to Karu, Jukwe service area, even AEDC main zone 4. To no avail. They keep giving us excuses. Some instances they tell you there are no prepaid meters available. Even those that were able to get prepaid meters, arguably, some of them got it at the cost of 100,000 naira.
There is a neighbor of mine that was given 50,000 in February. He went and paid that 50,000. By end of March, they gave him 21,000. The question is, what is the rationale for this type of irregular bills?
We have issue with our estimated bill, our NEPA estimated bill. About 95% of this area have they were given estimated bill, while little less than 5% were having meters. And on August 12th, they energized this area, which they gave us a bill of 4,500 each house. By September, they gave us a bill of 8,000 plus. So we are trying we have talked to the companies if they can help us to reduce the bills. When we engaged them, they said they have only few records with them. And I think with, after August, about 500 people has been connected, and they didn't have those records with those companies. I think that was the problem. But we, the community, are now working towards the record of those people that their name has not been in IBEDC.
Meter Asset Providers MAP may give solution to these complaints. MAP initiative will allow meters to be provided by third parties, which could be financiers, individuals or institutions. The new regulation, which is expected to commence at the beginning of 2019, would be implemented by a new class of operators in the power sector.
As a consumer, what you need to do, you need to there will be a platform in which you can actually call to register your need in terms of meeting requirements. Then each MAP licensee will come to visit your premises to evaluate your load requirement, whether you're a single phase or three phase. All these processes may not take you more than 24 hours because of the structure we will put in place. With that, you now agree whether you want to pay off or you want to be spread over 5 or 7 years, as the case may be. So there will be a flexible payment structure for each of the consumer to pay back, or if you want to pay at once. And this processing will be less than 2-3 days before you get your meter into your premises. So you don't need to interface with the disco any longer. It is you and the MAP licensee. But the MAP licensee must have a very formidable structure for consumers to be able to lay their complaint, make their request, and be able to make further complaint in case the meter is manufacturing. So you're no longer interfacing with the disco any longer per se, but MAP will be your contact point. Smart prepaid meter is an improvement on the conventional prepaid meter. What the smart will do is to make life more easier for you in terms of assessing your credit without necessarily going anywhere, and also give a bit of control over your appliances in the house. If you are in the office and you feel that, yes, your AC or your deep freezer is already cooled sufficiently, you can put it off, and hours to your closing time, you can equally put it on. These are the kind of things we want to be able to do in the industry, so that they can save cost, they can save wastage, so that excess power will be diverted to somebody who needs it somewhere. Inside the framework of the regulation, there is a provision for local content. Each MAP licensee should be able to procure 30% of their demand. So if, for instance, a disco sign with a MAP to buy 100,000 meters, 30,000 must be purchased within the local manufacturer. So the 30% will be shared within the local. That is a good entry point for we local manufacturer. Even if we know you can manufacture more than 30% requirement, but that is a starting point. So by the time we keep deploying and the meter is always available, rather than going out to buy the 70%, they will still come back home since it's a snapshot to get. So it's a good framework. However, what we need to equally do is to expand our facilities, because it's an opportunity for us to be able to develop the local capacity further in terms of reducing the unemployment, because that should be an opportunity to reduce our unemployment rate in the country. So this scheme will bring out, reduce unemployment, improve technology acquisition, the knowledge gap will be reduced, and manpower requirement in terms of meter installation will be increased upon, because we now have to train so much meter installers to be able to meet up the metering gap. The gap is so huge that in the next 5 years we are in the business.
As exciting as the idea of MAP sounds, there are fears. One of such is pricing, a factor which, if not properly handled, may limit the accessibility of the scheme.
When you look at our interest rate, especially in the commercial bank, if you want to invest or you want to finance something, it has to be a reflection of what your interest rate looks like in the commercial bank environment. Except the government is ready to intervene, knowing fully that we are subsidizing production in order to get people out of the street. If we have to actually match it with the interest rate from the commercial bank, it means we have to add that value to the cost of meter. Over the period of time the consumer wants to pay back. So eventually that one will increase the cost of meter. It might almost even double the cost of meter. But for somebody who wants to pay outright, he will pay the simple cost of meters, which is very, very cheap and considerate. And also the type of meter we want to deploy with this scheme is called smart meters. It will give leverage for consumer wherever they have to be able to control their house appliances and so on and so forth. And at the same time, the DISCO will be able to assess the load consumption and be able to monitor whether energy is being stolen or not. Because we want to reduce energy theft as much as possible along this scheme so that the DISCO can equally improve in their revenue stream. People must pay for electricity. But the only way you can do that is to provide an adequate devices, which is the smart meters, to be able to do that due diligence for the sector to actually improve. Part of my submission is to allow the government to intervene in terms of funding, because if they intervene at a low interest rate through BOI, if we can get a loan like single digit loan, we will be able to equally reduce the cost of the meter and at the same time deploy the services very cheap to rural consumer where their cost per capita is very minimal. So we'll be able to provide it, and because the scheme is a flexible scheme, if you want outright payment, if you want 7, if you want 10 years, there are provision for all those avenues for you to be able to key in. So if you want to pay over a long period, is an avenue for you. And there are other scheme that is coming on in terms of renewable energy from rural electrification that will be able to address the people at the rural dweller that cannot pay for high cost of electricity. But if you are living in the urban area, you'll be able to pay a little bit high premium for usage of electricity because of cost of living is very high.
That's our story. Another story will come to you next week on Big Story. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ini John Mekwa.